Hello and welcome to MGP306. It's another Sheepdog and Pab episode because Kev is too feckless to turn up. How are you doing, Pab?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. That's a bit of a scathing intro. I didn't mean to start attacking him. I said, it'll come flowing when I start attacking, and then I was, Kev's busy. How do I describe that without? But yeah, I'm good. I didn't feel rested when I landed. But a week on from the holiday, I suddenly feel incredibly rested. And
good.
Yeah, I feel good. It's been great getting away with the family. And weird. America's an odd place.
Oh, but fun.
Oh, very fun. I mean, I don't know that all of America's as fun as Disneyland.
No, I imagine not.
I assume the people to roller coaster ratio is a bit different outside of Disneyland. The one time I did venture away from Disneyland, which I'm going to start on a low point of the holiday. Being the Pokemon Go nerd that I am, I worked out the exact line in America where you needed to go past for Tauros to appear, the bull Pokemon, because it's not everywhere in America. It's just at a certain longitude and latitude and above, which is bizarre because they consider that the most American thing in the game. Yet they're everywhere in Canada, whereas Texas, you can't find them for love nor money because it's below the line, I think. So Daytona Beach was my choice. I worked out that Daytona Beach was about like 20 miles over the line, and also the most famous place that I could see on the list. There was all these other places with weird names like Akala and other stuff that sounded like koala and just weird stuff. Names that sounded like I was going to get there and it was going to be a shed in the middle of a desert and just one phone. And I'd be like, oh, what are we going to do? There's going to be no signal out here. So, we put the old Daytona in the sat nav that we had, and we just headed for that car park, and we figured we'll park up by the sea. We'll go and we'll look at the sea. I laid it out on the line straight away that I did not anticipate this turning into a beach visit. I didn't want to be. I basically didn't want to go more than a meter into the water for more than 10 minutes. I basically wanted my shoes on. I wanted to be on dry land within the first 20 minutes of being there. Definitely. And oddly, my whole family went, well, yeah, of course. Like, no, let's not mess about. So, so we drove down there. And I'm thinking, right, we've been in this place for 5 minutes now and there's not a single Tauros on the map. What's going on? We're driving around and I start seeing the shadow appear in the corner and I'm like, here we go. And, we're looking for this car park we put in and we park up and we go to the beach and I'm thinking it's still not popped up. It's telling me there's one like a few blocks away. Maybe we'll head over that way in a minute. And so I'm sort of getting a bit angsty because the kids are playing in the water. I'm thinking they're enjoying this a bit too much. They're going to want to stay here. We need to get moving. So after a little while we got moving and we walked towards where they were and where civilization seemed to be. This place that's so famous. My dad has a t-shirt with Daytona Beach written on it that he wore for like 25 years, which is probably the only reason I've heard of the beach and probably the only reason I wanted to go there was because I remember it being on a t-shirt. When I read the name, I thought, even when I said to my sister, I'll go to Daytona, she was like, Dad had a t-shirt with Daytona on it that he got when he was in Bermuda. So, we both remember it from this t-shirt. So we went in a tat shop on our way to find the Pokemon and it was the trashiest shop I've ever been in. It was horrible. And the people running it just seemed hideous. And we're walking around and I'm thinking maybe I'm just being a bit of a knob because they're selling tatty goods to tourists and, I'm overreacting. And then my mother-in-law said, what are those in jars over there? Are they real? And I said it was like 20 jars of dead shark fetuses for sale.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? So I basically made my family leave because that, and they had, what they called squishes, what kids like to play with.
Yeah.
But they were like these weird squishes that looked really grimy and weird. And my daughter was looking at them and I was like, she's going to want to buy one. I need to get out of it before she starts trying to buy these weird things that look like they're probably made from the souls of dead squishes. So we left and on our way out, this homeless guy came up and started trying to beg money off me. And I was like, I don't have any money. And Bosco goes, I've got money. And the homeless guy nearly leapt on him to get money off him. And I was like, oh, Bosco, don't talk to strangers. So we legged it into another shop. and they had like it was a what's it called, fish tank full of turtles. So the kids get all excited. I'm thinking, okay, this is a bit more. It was a rough looking place, but I was like, this is a bit more entertaining. You know, turtles, massive sign on it saying, "Do not touch, do not come near it. The turtles all have salmonella. You will get poisoned." Yeah. Just like, right, let's get out of here. So we were wandering again. Another homeless person approached us. This one looked way more violent than the last one. I'm getting so wound up, and I'm still looking around on Pokemon Go thinking there are absolutely no Tauros here. You know, there's one, and every time I get close to it, it disappears on the radar. It doesn't come up, and I'm properly getting wound up. And then I had a little hissy fit, as I'm known to do. Started cracking on that I'd asked to go to Daytona Beach, not Crime Alley, Gotham City. You know, moaning at my wife that Batman will be here in a minute and all this. And everyone's getting a bit upset with just the fact that it's an absolute load of nonsense. So yeah, we just basically skulked off to an IHOP and had pancakes, and then I suggested that we go find a local mall to sort of mooch around in, because that was one of our other plans, to go shopping on another day. Yeah. Now, the whole area was definitely over the line. A, I saw it on the radar, and B, everyone on the internet had confirmed this was the case. But I didn't see any until about the last hour we were there, and I managed to catch about 4. And I'd promised about 20 people that I was going to catch these and trade them when I got back to the UK. And I was so gutted. I'm back in the car just thinking, there must have been somewhere better we could have stopped or gone. Like, I wonder if I can find somewhere that's not 2 hours away from where we're staying. Because it wasn't a short drive. It wasn't like we nipped down the road for 20 minutes. It was a 2-hour drive. It was like a 4 or 5 hour mooch around and then a 2-hour drive back. So we'd wasted a good 9 hours so I could get this Pokemon, which my logic at the time was, we've flown 9 hours to get to America. We might as well drive 2 to catch the Pokemon I want and have a nice day out. I regret every moment that we spent in Daytona. It was horrific. On the plus side, for the other American stuff, I caught loads of them, and now everyone I know wants to trade, which is fun. I've had a proper irritating time with it all, though, because now I have the American ones that no one has, and when I was in America, I had the British ones that nobody had there. Twice now I've tried to meet with people who had the Asian and New Zealand Pokemon. There's one in Asia and one in New Zealand that I will just never be able to go and catch myself. And I asked people if they have them and want to trade. And one guy said, yeah, I'll trade you. We were going to meet up at Disney Springs, which is like a downtown Disney type thing, isn't it? And he messaged me just as we were going to meet up saying, do you need more than one? Because my mate traded me like 20 of them. And I said, well, you can't trade them to me. If someone traded them to you, you have to catch them. And he was like, oh, sorry, mate. And I just was then really disappointed. And then when I got home, the first thing I did was ask if anyone local had from New Zealand. And this woman said to me, I have it. I have a few of them. So I've been arranging with her all week. We were going to meet tomorrow morning and trade it. I was all excited because I've lined up other ones now. And then she messaged me about an hour ago saying, my partner's just told me I can't trade you this because it was given to me by somebody else. And I'm like, you people are dumb. It's just so irritating. So I thought I was going to have the game completed within a week. I was so looking forward to having it done. Just, taking my foot off the gas a little bit until they had an update on. But no, I can't, which is absolutely gutting. But gaming aside, Pokemon Go aside, best holiday ever. So good. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah. Love spending time with the kids. Annoyingly, I took my Switch with me and we didn't play it. Didn't play the DS the whole time. No. Really? They caught me out. The bloody plane people, the stewardesses, they did a thing where they said, turn off all your Bluetooth items at takeoff. And then when we were landing in America, they said, make sure you turn off your Bluetooth before we land. I was like, what do you mean? I turned it off 9 hours ago. Why are you telling me to turn it off now? And everyone around me starts turning off all their items. And I realised they only meant during landing and takeoff. So my kids have been desperate to play Mario Kart. I told them they could do a 42-lap race, whatever the maximum is. Really? That was the plan, that we were going to spend as long as it took to do the next race. So then on the way back, it was a night flight, and I had the Switch on me, but the kids went to sleep. So I was kind of like, there's no point now. So I took it all the way there and back. Luckily, it hasn't got any scratches or anything on it. It just sat on the side the whole holiday.
Wow.
But I was nervous I was going to end up breaking it. I think Bosco knocked it off the table at one point, and I was like, can you just imagine me getting over there, breaking it and bringing it back? I only bought it to take it on a holiday, and we never touched it. But that was because we stayed in an awesome place that had a games room with like I've seen. It's basketball machine, foosball, ping pong, and air hockey. And I was the king at all of them, which was perfect. I didn't mind playing him because I was awesome. I think this injection I've had has made me more masculine at doing not sporty stuff, just stuff. Because we went on this Buzz Lightyear ride where you have to shoot aliens. And yes, I was sitting with my own kids, but I could see other strangers and their scores. And I was on like 70,000 points while my kids were on 5,000 points. And all the other dads and adults near me were only on 20,000. And I thought, I'm basically Buzz Lightyear. I'm so good at shooting aliens. They should just send me out there. I was joining this Space Force they're all moaning about in America because I'm good at it. But I thought it was a result of mainly maybe feeling more able. It's all sort of that. But then when I got back and we played Pokken tournament with the kids, they're whooping me at that. Turns out they've grown up in the past week and now they're really good at games and I'm terrible and they've been thrashing Pokken all week. It turns out that they're just much better at beat 'em ups than I am. So yeah, I'm ebbing and flowing with this. I feel like maybe they just caught me off guard, but it's been fun playing with them, doing that sort of stuff was awesome. I'm trying to think of like stuff I haven't already said happened because we've spoken about it on and off, and I've spoken about it on videos. I'm trying to think of anything that I haven't said. You've been there before, haven't you? You said.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you go to Disney Quest? Because I just looked up what it was. It was like a massive, it was like a 10-story arcade.
I didn't. I have not heard of that. Where's that?
It's not there anymore. It shut down last year. I just Googled it and I was like, this place was like one of the most memorable things for me. It was in the Disney Springs. I don't know if that's a thing you've heard of.
Well, I'd put off going there because of this guy that was going to trade me the Pokemon. And then when he cancelled, we didn't go. And then my wife said to me, why didn't we go there? Like, I'll pay back because I didn't realise how much stuff it had.
Yeah, it's like a resort in itself, isn't it?
Mm. It's huge. It used to be downtown, which is all the bars and
yeah. I think it was downtown when I went.
Yeah.
But I've just looked there because I was like, what was that arcade thing? I googled it, and it comes up Disney Quest is closed as of July 2017. And I'm like, oh, but it had like bumper cars in it and old arcade machines and. Like it was like I was looking at the picture. It's like a massive warehouse, and it was just like huge. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. 5-story, 100,000 square feet. Just all arcades. They're making way for the NBA experience.
See, I was surprised to learn a few things about that area, the whole Disney Park stuff. Did you know it's its own county?
Yeah, it's its own county. I said they can just keep building on it and just going, just put some more stuff on.
They've got licensing permission to do what they want. They're allowed to build a nuclear reactor if they want, apparently.
That's right. They got their own police and everything.
It's mad. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I did not know that. So America is bizarre for that sort of thing. What else did I notice while I was there? The weird adverts where massively famous people like Samuel Jackson was just selling, I think it was eye laser surgery. And I thought, why have they not got him as Nick Fury going, I tried cheap laser eye surgery. That's how I got my eye patch, the other eye I got done with this company that's paying me loads of money and look at me now, I'm an Avenger. Just whatever. But they had this really cringy video where they're like, this just in, our new raspberry juice drink with blueberry and raspberry flavour is the best drink that's ever been made. This Justin likes to just push blueberries into raspberries. And then it has Justin Timberlake going, I call it a bluesberry. Then he just eats it. And I'm just like, that's Justin Timberlake. Word. How much must they have paid him to do such a cringy ad? They had one with Kimmy Schmidt on it talking about
really
KFC. Wow. Like every advert just seemed to be somebody massively famous to my brain anyway. Like,
yeah.
I tried to tell this story at work, and I didn't know who Kimmy Schmidt was. I didn't know what I was on about Justin Timberlake being that famous, and I thought that was an odd one because he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I mean, Samuel Jackson, they agreed, was massive. But they went down the more boring route of going, well, I guess it must be really profitable and I'm like, I know that. I'm not dumb. I know they've got like 1 billion people living there. And, it's not as weird as it would be here to have Samuel Jackson try and sell me laser eye surgery and they get like 10 customers and go bankrupt. But no, it was odd being in a place where these people must just spend their days doing these silly little videos for a laugh to get 10 mil or whatever.
Oh yeah, get a load of money. Good.
Yeah, but what have you played while I've been away?
What have I played while I've been away? Well, as ever, I'm playing Fortnite continuously.
I've been seeing your wins on.
Honest to God, I've started playing. I've gone back to PC, just to see what it's like, and I've started playing mouse and keyboard because I've got this stupid ass expensive mouse that's got all the buttons on it and stuff. I decided that I'll just download a map, like a key binding set for Fortnite, and just put it on and see how we get on. And it's pretty good. I don't know if I'm any good.
Yeah.
But
you got 2 kills today, didn't you?
Yesterday I got 4 kills in a game that we won. And it was kind of bonkers.
You said multiple kills, and I just assumed.
Yeah, it was because I said multiple kills because I thought, because every picture I take, I just showed a victory thing, and it says in the top corner the amount of kills you get, and usually it says like 0 or maybe 1, and it said 4, and I got 4.
Wow.
So it wasn't too bad. I'm playing that like as duos with someone that I know, and yeah, it's been good. Like I say, he carries me most of the way. I just treat myself as like a glorified spotter. If I could get instead of a gun, I just have binoculars. I think I'd be more effective because that's all I do. I just literally just look out, peek my head out of the little towers that we build, and just look around and go, "Is anyone there? No. Okay, I'll go back in." That's all I do with that game. And then I only get my kills in like a panicked rush of people rushing me.
But I think that's how, because I guess there's 2 types of players. There's there's 3 probably. I scramble around frantically, constantly, just trying to source enough weapons to get towards the end game where the circle's small. And then the second I come up against someone, they kill me because I've spent so much time dilly-dallying. I'm like a goalkeeper who's lost concentration and then someone has a quick shot at the 90th minute and I lose. Yeah. That's basically me. I'll get down to the last, there's 10 people, but I've literally seen no one because I've been wandering around trying to be stealthy. And then, 9th place person will kill me and then die instantly. And I'm like, for God's sake. Whereas you're doing what those other 8 people will have done and just stay still in a sensible place.
Well, yes and no. See, Rocco, the guy that I'm playing with, he's the guy that pushes me. He's the aggressive person. He's like, I want to go kill him. I want to go get him. And I'm like, no, if I play on my own, I hide out the way until right till the end. And then until there's like a certain number where I can't get, someone can't get the jump on me. And I know I can know where they are, like 2 or 3 left. And then that's when I kind of step it up and go, right, okay, can I sneak around and kill him somewhere or another without him seeing me? And that's how I play it. But he pushes it. He's like, I want to go and get him. So he just goes and runs at him. And I just kind of run behind him, kind of like as backup or a nice decoy. So I just start running in like an opposite direction to him. So I go, look at me. Don't mind that guy over there shooting you. Just look at me.
I shoot from too far away, and that gives me
that doesn't help. That doesn't help either. You're right. I do that as well. But yeah, I continue to play it. I think we've had 2 victories this week. Which isn't bad. I try to aim to get 1 a week, maybe. I'm getting close to 20 now, I think. But yeah, playing it on PC again is sort of giving me a new lease of life for it a little bit, maybe. I'm nearly done on. I think I've done 2 of the weeks. Week 5 came out this week on challenges for the Battle Pass, and I've done 2 weeks so far total. And I think I'm on 1 to complete in 2 of them, and 2 to complete in the other one that's left, the other week's challenges. So I'm getting through them pretty quick. And then obviously I'll fill the Battle Pass up, and then Just wait till week 10 when it starts again. Starts again with season 6.
I convinced my sister to get this on. She got a Switch, and I convinced her to get it so we'd play, but we've just not got around to it yet. It's like she said to me, "Do you want to play tonight?" And I'm like, "We'll get hooked on it."
It's a different game on Switch. Well, compared to PC anyway. I mean, you're playing it on console, aren't you, Sheepdog?
I've been playing it on Xbox prior to now, but I said I'll play it on Switch.
Yeah, it'll be a similar sort of thing. Yeah, maybe not. But I found it it's considerably easier compared to PC because there's nowhere near as much skill in the building as there is like with the PC. But then I thought that when I played on Xbox as well, or PS4, Xbox maybe.
There's nowhere much building, did you say?
There's nowhere near as much like quick builds and like how you just see a building go up in front of you and you're like, where the hell have you just come from?
So are people doing that by pressing a button on the keyboard? Because I assumed that there was...
I've got buttons on my mouse that just auto build sort of thing. So like how on the controller you press a button to get like to the build sort of menu, and then you tab across with left and right bumper to get to what you want to build. I've got a button that just builds it, so I don't have to select it. I've just got a wall button and a stairs button on my mouse, so I just press it. And
people seem to build walls and stairs in a specific pattern. Is that not? I thought you could find a blueprint on the map.
Oh no! You do it manually just by putting them down.
That's probably part of where I've been going wrong all the time, because I start hunting out, seeing if I can find some kind of way to.
No, just build up. Just put 4 walls around you. Like that's what I do. 4 walls around me, and then get a jump, and then you put stairs down. Another 4 walls around me above. Another set of stairs on in the middle of it, and just sort of build my way up like a tower, like that. But then you don't want to get too high as well, because you don't want someone to come along and blow it up at the bottom and you just fall down and you die. I've seen that happen quite a lot. I had that earlier in the week. We were just waiting for something to happen. This guy was building, fighting someone, and he killed the guy down below him, and was like, right, destroy his tower. Just shoot at the bottom of the tower. Let's just blow it up. And he died. He couldn't do much about it, really.
Well, I was going to say, I always shoot from too far away, and what always seems... I either shoot from too far away and I've caused such a commotion it draws other people in, or if I do get close enough, I'm so bad at shooting that I shoot like crazy. I do get a lot of shots in, but they kill me first because they're more accurate with their headshot or whatever. But it always seems to be the case that the person then that's killed me dies almost instantly, because I've either got them to a point where they're like, right, I now need to massively, so I need to stand out in the middle of nowhere healing, die. It's very rare that person's ever then left to go on. It's like I'm, self-destructing and hurting them while I do it. But I need to just play it more. It's so hard. I suppose it's just a point now where the people who are good at it are only going to get better.
Have you even added me on Switch yet, Sheepdog?
I don't think I've added anyone. I think did I put my number out? I can't remember now.
Just later on we'll do it, and I'll add you on there, and then we'll have a go together at some point if you want. Having
it has been a bit of a double-edged sword, because I wanted to come and play Mario yesterday, and the kids were well excited until I told them it was a one-player game that I was going to play exclusively.
Yeah, you're going to watch me play it.
So then they wanted to play Pokken, and it's like, so if I need to play it when they're in bed, but then when they're in bed, I want to watch loads of stuff because all my programs seem to be coming back.
You want to play it in bed then?
Yeah, but then I want to read comics in bed. So I'm loving the fact they're playing it with me, but I don't want to get 6 months down the line and I've still not opened Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, you need to play that one as well. That's a good one.
I know I'm going to love it. I know it's going to be the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Mrs. Sheepdog wants to finish Detroit. She's like 2 hours from the end of that, I think, and hasn't got round to it because we've just been busy. I think we'll try and do that this weekend, and even if I have to go sit in the other room on my own with Mario, I'll just do that. Because I keep forgetting as well that it's handheld. So when the kids are monopolising the telly, they're obsessed with watching, those videos where it's just continuous, like cats doing crazy things or whatever. They just sit and they'll watch it and they'll laugh their heads off like crazy.
Okay.
I kind of wish I'd go around the house just filming my dog doing stupid stuff, put it on there, and they'll just watch it. I'd get enough clicks off of them alone that I'd probably pay off my mortgage the way they watch these. But when they're doing that, I'll just play Mario, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Right, what else have I played? It was Evo last weekend. Yes, it was Evo last weekend. And you know what Evo is, Sheepdog?
I thought you were saying Pro Evo for a second.
No.
Like PES. I was like, what? No, what is Evo?
Evo is the fighting world championships, the fighting game world championships. So every year they have like Evo, and it's like it's usually like what have you got? Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Smash is there doing their thing, and there's all these other different games that are there. And they do this on a yearly basis. There's also this year Dragonball FighterZ has come onto the scene, and it's very good, and that has been taken up there. And it taught me into getting it finally, because I've always wanted to get it, because it came out in January, I think, and it made me want to, like I say, it made me start watching Dragon Ball again. So, but even though I didn't own the game.
I remember trying to get this for a review for you, but they never really helped.
Yeah. It's I just was like, I'll wait for it to come out in a sale. And with the Evo being on, there's been a big sale on Steam, so I managed to get it for practically half price. So I've been playing that. I played probably about an hour maybe. Not played lots of it because I've been playing Fortnite and what have you, but it seems pretty good. I've been playing the story mode. It's got like the cutscenes and stuff, have all the voice acting in it from the TV program, whatever, so that seems cool. So it's kind of like watching a bit of a mini episode, like, well, not mini, you know what I mean, like a sort of truncated episode where he's just fighting in the middle of it. The one thing I don't like, based on the single player alone, is each story mode has like, each like sort of level as it is, plays like FTL. Yeah, okay, FTL as a world map sort of thing. And you've got to work your way across the map. You've got to pick like the map. It's got like that's like a little grid type thing, and you've got to you got 20 moves to get to the boss, and you've got to go through like you go like a diagonal one, and it takes you to like a planet there, and this guy's on that, so you got to fight him, and then you go across one, and there's chest on there, so you just don't have to do anything on there. You just collect the chest, and then you go back, and then you fight another guy on another planet until you get to the boss. Now I got all the way through one map, as it were, right to like the second before the boss fight, and I lost the fight. And he goes, right, do you want to start the map again, or do you want to quit? And I went, I'm just going to quit then. I'm not doing the entire map again.
Yeah,
I'm not going through a load of fights again to get to this boss fight. And I was like, it just annoyed me. I was like, that's frustrating. It should just let you play the fight you lost again. It shouldn't make you play the entire. The fights again. I was like,
it feels to me like it's. I mean, with FTL, I liked the fact it meant that the crew weren't expendable and the game had consequences. But that was also an indie game, and their decision meant I came back to it for hours and hours and hours, and I really enjoyed it. Whereas this is a bigger title. It's got a story to it that's set. It doesn't change every time. It's not going to be any different. Yeah. Making you redo it just screams of, if we didn't let you just try again at the boss, you'd probably have it done in a day. I find games like this confusing at the moment because, so does it have, is this like story mode, you play through it kind of like with the Tekkens and the Street Fighters where, you know, you get to the end, it might show you an end, you fight a big bad, and then like Mortal Kombat always had a bit of a story going through it. You fight the boss, you feel like you'd achieved it, and then if you played it as a different character, you'd kind of get a different story, but ultimately it was basic. Yeah? No,
this is
one
based
story.
On what I've played, this is one story that runs through it. It's like an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
So more like the newer Mortal Kombat, where it's like Johnny Cage has an argument with someone and then they start fighting.
Exactly. And then you flip to another character, and then it's his sort of side of the story for a little bit, and then it flips back to someone else, and then it just goes between it. There's one through story going through it. Yeah, very much similar to that.
They're fun, but I feel conflicted with it all because they're good, but everything's kind of locked away until you get to a point in the story. Whereas the opposite problem that. And I know Pokken's for kids, and it's a different type of game. But Mario Kart's done it as well, and again, that's for kids and a different sort of game. They're giving you all the levels and all the characters from the get-go. You can multiplayer with them, and I find that a little bit disappointing that there's no real reason for me to play the story of Pucken. I can literally, it's completed already. I'm just doing it, and it's not really a story, and it's very samey. The multiplayer is the fun bit. I think
that's because, well, I think that there's a reason for that might be because these games have already come out once, especially like Mario Kart was a big seller on the Wii U. And people would be really annoyed if they had to start unlocking all the levels again, all the progress. I think that would put people off.
Did you have to do that on the originals then? Did you have to unlock it all?
That's the thing, I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember.
I feel like you don't think you did.
Yeah, I recall having to, like in the very first one, I remember you had to do the mushroom, do the flower, do the leaf, and then, or at least those 3 were available, but you had to unlock the other 5.
Other trophies, yeah, other tournaments.
Whereas this one, I can leap straight into the Royal Cup, whatever it's called, and I just found that a bit bizarre. Like, why? I haven't earned the right. I can go and do a 200cc race when I should have only been able to do 50 in the old ones.
But there's also the fact that the starting ones are easier than the harder ones. So the later cups are much more difficult. They've got much more difficult tracks in it. So sure. You probably have a more difficult time getting first in each of them. So you probably want to do the progression of, work your way up instead of just going right to the end tournament.
I think you're right. It's mixed. I can jump into a challenge. It's just I found it odd because I wondered if that's how games were suddenly, because they decided it was easier and more popular that way. But it's interesting to hear that this one went down the route of forcing you. I mean, making you replay it's not on, but I guess if you're, at least there's a reason to play it if you're getting further. Do you unlock anything if you play it through?
You get like XP sort of stuff and you get credits and stuff. I'm not quite sure what the credits do. I think you can buy cosmetics maybe with the stuff, the in-game credits and stuff, maybe. I didn't know what it was. I was unsure at first, to be honest with you. It's a kind of bizarre game because there's no like menu system. When the game loads up, you load it up into like this little hub world, and you're this little chibi character. You're like a little like anime tiny like little chibi character, and you just kind of wander around and you go to like different little parts of this hub world, and it's like this is like the multiplayer area. This is like the settings menu like area. This is like the single player story area, and you just got to wander around this little thing. It's kind of cool, but I was just like, wow, I just want to press start and find the settings or something like that. I didn't have to stroll across this little map to get to the settings, but yeah.
That was the thing in the crew, which was irritating. You'd walk around and it's like,
yeah. I did see that in some videos of people just like wandering around, and you're like, it feels kind of weird.
Let me go check my garage, and it's like, no, I just want to press the options, garage, cars, favorites. not. Some people, I guess it's important to try new things, but when you've tried them and seen they're clearly wrong, you shouldn't then release them. Like, if I was the person who released that Dragon Ball game, I would have probably looked at the fact that you were forcing people to redo the whole map just to do the boss, and I'd have gone patch that immediately. How did that even get through?
I don't know if it's just like a way of like not like stretching the game, giving it more longevity and making people better at the game because they're making them play more fights. They're making them
maybe. If it's Evo, did you say?
Oh, they played it at Evo.
Yeah, so maybe it has.
It's huge.
Punishing you by being bad. But it is like, I always felt Arkham Knight needed the option to skip missions you'd failed 3 times, because GTA had that and it was perfect. It was every time I got in a plane, I nosedived the plane 3 times and then I moved on. Wow. Someone like Kev should have just been able to crash the Batmobile 3 times and move on. Like, don't do it on the like Riddler missions. Don't just hand them a Riddler trophy. But when you've got to drive a car around and it's bad, just let the player move on. It just seems obvious that, again, I thought that was a game that massively needed that little patch to be thrown in just to allow, because Kev and Anna would have thought that game was at least 20% better if they were able to just skip the bits that were doing their head in. Because was just in the frame of mind to persevere with it at the time. And that's kind of what I've been like with a lot of these. I just think, do you know what? I'm just going to keep doing it. Whereas with the planes in GTA, I was like, I do not have the brain space to even bother to work out how these planes fly. I was like that with the crew, to be fair. The crew race, crew 2, when I was playing that the other week, the races on that, boats fine, cars, middle, any plane ones, I literally crashed into a building, thought, Jesus, this is insensitive. And then just never went back to the plane ones. I thought, if never doing a race with a plane.
No. Oh well.
I don't know what it is. I just can't control them. I can't do it in Battlefield for some reason.
Battlefield's a different thing altogether because I feel like Battlefield they move a lot faster than and you usually tend to be in like first person, and then you've also got the added thing of like you've got to shoot people down as well. You've got to deal with that as well. So
I don't know what it is though, because up and down are inverted. I get that. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But something just doesn't sit right with him. Like the plane wasn't turning left and right in the Crew 2 anywhere near the speed I would have expected it to. Like a boat, I get. Boats turn slowly. But I thought the whole point of aeroplanes was that they could basically turn on a 5 pence piece.
No, I don't think it's that simple. They're similar to like boats in the air. I don't think they're that nimble.
But I was in one the other week that circled a little bit, and that seemed to be.
Yeah, but how big was that circle, Sheepdog? It wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, of course. But it was. I'm sure that the pilot hadn't turned left on his steering wheel, and like an hour later it responded.
It's not that bad, surely.
I was alarmed when I looked at the map actually, and to be fair, I'm saying that I looked at the map on the way back, and he basically flew. I think it was like Southampton, and then turned like, I'm trying to think, 45 degrees maybe, and then just went in a straight line, and he just went literally in a straight line until the runway. And I just thought he has basically flown across the Atlantic, reached Southampton, literally turned 45 degrees, went towards the runway. It was on the way there that they circled slightly, but on the way back, he just lined it up from 150 miles away. Which just seemed ridiculous. And there must have been obviously a little bit of tilt there, but on the map, it had gone all these zigzags and it had just gone straight line, turn, land. Yeah. And this was Stansted, so it wasn't close. It was like 100 miles plus.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Just work out where I want to be massively in advance. Could be it.
I mean, maybe. Right. What else have I played? The last game I've played this week is a new game. It's called Dead Cells. No, you haven't heard of Dead Cells, have you?
I have not.
No, it's a relatively small indie-ish game. It's got quite a lot of momentum behind it. It's been in early access.
I think I've had emails about this because I've just typed it in and I know the common words, but I remember thinking roguelike Metroidvania hybrid.
Yep.
And I was just like,
yep.
I'm assuming, and I'm probably wrong, that by Metroidvania they mean Metroid and Castlevania. Is that not true?
Sorry, say that again.
Is Metroidvania Metroid Castlevania?
Yeah, it's a merging of the words.
I was just like, combining the three is like brain-breakingly different. Just like.
So, did you play Rogue Legacy?
I can't remember.
It was like a bit more cartoony sort of looking game, and you would run through a castle, and each time you respawned, you would take a trait from your ancestor.
Was this on PS Plus?
It probably. In fact, I know it was. Yes.
Yeah, I think I played it on that briefly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a really good like roguelike Metroidvania, so to speak. And I hate Metroidvanias.
I hate people who call games that kind of thing because
I think it's just
like Metroidvania. Just call it something else.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not a massive fan of Metroidvanias altogether. I just don't like the Metroidvanias. For me, always seem like they're like a set of like level, and then there's certain areas you can't go in because you need a certain weapon. So I'm just gonna keep going, push through the level, and at some point I get a weapon and I'll track all the way back. And I'm like, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to having to go around a map going, right, okay, where did I need to go? I need to go somewhere where I could use this freeze gun because this door was needed freezing over for me to get through. And I was like, I just want to push through all the time. I just want to keep going. But this one I'm making an exception for. This game is very, very good. So you initially spawn as like an undead character, and you have like a basic weapon, and you have a choice when you spawn. You have like a choice of like a secondary weapon, and it can be like, usually it's, when you start off, it's at the minute it's just giving me the choice of either a shield or a bow. So I always pick the bow because I don't use shields at all. And then you make your way through this level. It's all randomly generated level. Certain number of enemies in it. You kill them. You collect your cells. Cells are what you use as a currency later in the game. So you go around, kill all the enemies, collect some chests, have a wander around, realise there's some areas in the levels that you can't get to because you need a certain abilities. That's coming up. I'll explain that in a bit.
Is that a bit like Wonder Boy, where you have the fish ability or whatever?
Well, there's like certain mutations in the game, or like perks that you can get in the game, where there's this like fungus stuff on the floor, and if you give it a bit of a tickle, it'll just sprout up in the air really fast, and you can climb up to the next ledge. But I do it at the minute, nothing happens because I haven't got the perk that enables me to do that. There's also like there's also these sarcophagi, and you do something to them, and they all start sparkling and let like sparks coming off of them, and nothing actually happens when you do it. So there must be a perk involved with that to unlock this area, wherever it is you do. So you go around the level, you beat all the enemies, try not to die, because once you die, you lose everything that you've got, and you start again with a whole new level sort of thing. It generates a new level, and you go through it and do it again. So you go through the level, and then you come to like on the way to the next level, you go to like this area. It's like there's like a guy there, like a scientist, and he'll go, right, okay, what do you want to spend your cells on? So you have to spend your cells, and you put your cells into like, there's like a series of things that you can buy from him, like health pack, like health vials, or certain weapons or something like that. And you put your cells into certain things, and then you like the health vial that initially was on at the top of the list is 5 cells. You put that in, you instantly get a health vial. Then when you're going round, every time you keep it. That is what you keep in the game. You don't lose that once you've bought it. But then something like a particular weapon or a shield or a sword or something like that is like 35 cells, and you don't need to like get 35 cells to buy it, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. What you do is you can say I got 11 cells, I put 5 to get the health vial. I could then put the rest of them into the sword that I want, and then the next time I come round, I can put them all into the sword. I can just keep topping it up. So it's initially 35, and I dropped it down to 29, and then I come back again next time I die, and I come back and do it, and then put another 20 in there, or whatever it is, until I can unlock the sword. So it's not like I need to be that good at the game that I need to get 35 cells in one run to unlock this particular weapon. I can just keep topping it up, just nudging it towards unlocking it. So there's that one. There's also currency in the game of coins or gems. I think it's coins, because you collect gems while you're going around as well. And coins let you buy, do they let you buy mutations? Mutations give you like perks on certain things. So what I tend to get is like one that's like gives you 3% health on killing an enemy. So it just tops my health up every time. And there's all sorts of different mutations like that, like do more damage, bleed effects, or something like that, and you spend your money on that. Oh, the cells also, you can't go into the next level without spending all your cells from the previous level. So that's why the progression is a good thing, because it won't let you go past this scientist without spending all your cells. Because once you die, if you die in the level, you lose all your cells anyway. So you might as well spend them while you're there.
Yeah.
Otherwise you lose it all anyway. You lose everything. And I've only ever got to the second level at the minute. I got to the boss in the second level. The boss at the end of the second level. I got
also force you to get better at it. If you were unable to do it, you're then kind of spending the cells to improve, I suppose.
The bosses, I feel like the bosses and the progression is the same. It's how you get to that boss that changes, like the level layout and where you go and sort of thing. And there's all sorts of stuff. There's shops in the middle of the levels as well. So if you're in the middle of a level, you find a shop, you can buy things from this vendor that's there as well. So each time you go through, there's like certain things you keep. So like the stuff that you buy with your cells, you keep. And each time you respawn, you spawn in this like chamber, and there's like all these like glass vials above you. And each there's like, I feel like there's probably at least 50. And each time you unlock something, it goes into this vial, and you can see it there. And that can then become an item that you find in the world, or you get at the start again. Like I said at the start, there's a sword and a shield.
Yeah.
That if you unlock the fire sword or whatever it is, that will become an option for you at the start of the game, or it becomes something that you will unlock in the world whilst you're in there. It won't just, like if I got a weapon, there's no guarantee I'm going to start with that weapon every time. But it's in the world there, so it's around to find now. It's not just like a one-off purchase and you've lost it now once you've died. It's in the world again. You just got to find it. But I'm just enjoying it. I've probably not played more than 2 hours of this game, but I'm just enjoying like the 20-minute runs that I have, because I don't last much longer than 20 minutes anyway. Because also it's not that
20 seconds these days, mate.
It's not. Well,
sorry, that's terrible.
It's not. Yeah, it's not an easy game. It's not an easy game. Some of the enemy design is cool. Some of them really difficult to deal with. Some are really downright infuriating. I got to the boss yesterday, and I didn't even know what was going on. I honestly didn't know what was going on. There was just like a melee of like bullets and like, I think it was like crossbow maybe or something like that. Because you also unlock, like, so you've got 2 main weapon sort of buttons. Your X and Y are the 2 main buttons that you press, and then you've got triggers as well, which are 2 additional things that they just random items that you find in the world. And usually what I've found has been like some sort of like bolt action, like gun that just shoots enemies for like 10 seconds. It's got a cooldown on it. And the trigger ones have a cooldown on them. So some are like, I think there's one is a boot. You can just like give them a good kick with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can the ability to just give someone a good boot. You can knock them out of the stance or whatever, or knock through shields and stuff. There's so much to this game. It's quite deep, and I'm nowhere near finishing it. But I'm just enjoying the progression of, I get to each level. If I can get to the end of a level, I can put more cells into this like progression system, and I'm slowly unlocking new items in the world. Even if I'm not making it out to the next level. I mean, most of the times when I die, the most cells I've lost is like 6. So it's not like I'm losing tons of cells, because I can get to the second level competently now. It's the second level I've not got past yet. But I've got to the boss yesterday, so I'll get to it eventually. It's just taking time. But in the meantime, I'm just slowly progressing, getting slowly better, unlocking stuff.
It does look, when I read the name, the description, I looking at clips of it, and one thing I'll say is the very first game I thought wasn't Metroid, wasn't Castlevania, wasn't... I don't know why, and this is going to sound ridiculous, and maybe it's just where I've been for the 2 weeks, but the first thing I thought of was the Aladdin game on the Mega Drive.
Yeah, I can see that. The movement in it, yeah, I can see that.
Very, very
the way you swing a sword, I can see that. That.
But I don't know what I thought that maybe, right, so my problem, and this actually links to a conversation I've had today, Metroid games and Zelda games are 2 game series that I have been burnt with so many times that it's put me off looking at the Breath of the Wild game, even though I know it's absolutely categorically different from anything before it. So when I saw Metroid, I just thought, because every time I've ever bought them, I haven't been able to get my head around They've not been the sideways walking. Maybe it's because I've only ever played the more 3D attempts that they did on the GameCube and
different
Wii,
things.
and they've not been quite normal. Whereas this looks actually quite fun. And you also, as a side note, I don't know why I typed it in. I can't remember why I typed it in. I said, "Is it like?" Because you were talking about I forget what something made me think of Wonder Boy. I said Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy, yeah.
And so I googled it because I thought, when was the last time they made a Wonder Boy game? I only remember playing it on the Master System, and they've made Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, and
it's a remake of the original.
Yeah, and I didn't remember that being the name of it, Dragon's Trap. Wonder Boy 3 was the one I played, so I'm guessing it's definitely the same one. But have you seen it or played it? Because I want to know if it's any good.
It's very good.
Cool.
Very, very good. And it looks amazing, but there's also, you press a button and it goes back to the original graphics.
Yeah, I saw that when I was on.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Because now I'm like, that's on the Switch. So
I'd have a look as well, because there's a big old summer sale on at the minute on the Switch, and that's been out for at least 6 to 8 months, maybe a bit longer. I think it came out last year actually, so it might be a little older than that. Yeah. So I mean, keep an eye out for it.
Up to 80% off games in the summer sale.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
I'd like to say, just keep an eye out, because it's a good game now. I've heard good things about it. I've not bought it myself. I've been waiting for it to come down in price in the sale myself. So.
Do they have a way to search their shop on
laptop? On the laptop, just search Nintendo eShop, Switch Nintendo eShop. I think. One thing also I'd like to ask you is, have you not been tempted by this Octopath Traveler?
Sorry,
you don't know what this is, do you?
I don't know nothing at the moment.
Okay, well, when you get to your Switch, download the demo.
Oh no, I have. Yes, I've seen this on Amazon, because what I've been doing. My birthday's coming up, and I've been sat on Amazon reading through. Sorry, I'm thinking, like, my brain just went to octopuses and like a psychopath octopus, and was trying to. I'm thinking, well, I think I would have remembered seeing a game about psychopath octopuses, Pab, but no, I didn't remember this being the name of it. I've only read about it briefly. I don't know nothing about it.
It's like an old school JRPG with like an amazing aesthetic.
It looks like, the artwork on the cover to me screams like we're like the old Final Fantasies, or Suikoden, or Breath of Fire, and that's definitely. I mean, my area.
Yeah. So what you do, Sheepdog, is when you get onto your Switch, there is a free 3-hour demo of that game.
The 3 hours on a game like this can't be.
But it'll give you a taste of it. It'll give you what you need of it, won't it?
Yeah, and I won't play it again.
Well, it'll give you a choice of like whether you want to get it or not, because I think this is right up your street.
It is. I've learned again. I'm slightly burnt. I think I've fallen into the trap of Nintendo, because everything's so expensive and will always be that expensive. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I do just get Zelda, because if I don't like it, I can just sell it for probably, knowing me, more than I bought, because I'll find it somewhere for 45 quid and then sell it for 48 quid and cover the postage or some monstrosity. Because that's how it always seems to work with Nintendo games. Whereas, like, you get literally any other consoles games and you're like, oh, go on, you can have it for £1, just take it. So, yeah, maybe I'll see if I can find a hard copy of it if the demo's good. Because it's 50 quid on the store.
What is?
That Octopath.
Oh, yeah. You got to pay the Nintendo tax.
Zelda's 60. And
you need to check the sales. You need to consistently check the sales.
I'm on their shop.
I'm saying no. I need to consistently check the sales, though, because I've seen that down to about 35 at one point.
Yeah, that'd be reasonable. Dead Cells is $22.49 at the moment, which is.
Is it? Is it really? Mm-hmm. See, I pre-ordered it and I got a 20% discount, $17.99.
I forgot that Pokemon Quest came out as well. I'm glad I went on this shop while we were talking.
Pokemon Quest, yes.
Yeah,
that's on there. It's on mobile now, though, as well, Sheepdog.
I think I'm weird. I'm weird with mobile games.
I don't. agree with it, but
I've not reached this. The rest of the world has instantly gone, yeah, paying anything more than £1 for a mobile phone game is perfectly acceptable. They put lots of effort in. And I'm like, £5 or whatever, I could buy a real game for that, and I can't shake it. I will get over it eventually. I will stop being snobby. My phone is my Pokemon Go device that also features The Simpsons. That is literally all my phone is for when I'm not doing other stuff on it, like phone stuff. I mean, games are for everything else.
Well, you got to get out of that mentality.
I do, because I'm missing out on a lot of good games.
Well, there's a lot of good games, and you got to realize. I mean, I'm in a similar situation of like, if there's a game that, if it's free to play, you know full well there's monetization in there. There's free to play hooks in there that make you wanna. And then there's a game that's like 99p. And you're like, there's probably still adverts and stuff like that. Then there's games that are like £5 and they're like all in. If you not minded by adverts or
I think I prefer the free to play where there's extras, just because the likes of Pokemon, every now and again I will just buy coins in it because it's like £1, job done. And I haven't in a very long time, but I used to just do that with Tapped Out. I'd be like, yeah, I'll stick £1 in and get that character. That looks quite funny, and I'd enjoy the jokes.
Yeah, I did that as well. I did that.
But I don't know. I think when it's 5 plus 10 or 5 or 10 or whatever quid, especially when you've got like Square Enix put a couple of the Final Fantasy games on there in their entirety for nothing, and you're like, well, that's mental. I know they're making money other ways.
Oh, but they're also putting games on there for £10 as well.
Yeah, but I never played them, is what I was going to say. It's like, so don't worry, if I buy a £10 game, I'm not actually going to sit and play it.
No.
Because I've got my freebie Pokemon Go on there that's dominating all my time. I don't know. I will get used to it eventually. I'm just still not fully on it. Like, Kev will buy an app left, right and centre without batting an eyelid, whereas I'm very like, I don't know. I'd rather try and find another route or buy it I'm a bit of an old man with all that. I think I'm kind of.
Oh no, I'm very similar. I don't really use my phone to play games that much anymore. Like, I just don't like it as a way to play games on the touchscreen. Unless it's a particular game that's like designed, you know, what a game that's not got like the virtual analog sticks on it and the buttons. I can't play a game like that.
Yeah, I think Simpsons entertains me. Pokemon Go gets me outside. I hate being outside, so it's a big plus. Like the fact that I was the one saying let's go and drive 2 hours to Daytona Beach. Yes, I had an agenda of wanting to catch Pokemon, but it was like, I would never have suggested that pre-Pokemon. I just wouldn't have, you know? Until this woman stitched me up for tomorrow, I was planning on spending 3 hours at the park. And now I'm like, I might actually just spend 3 hours wandering around Deeping because it's the Pokemon Community Day this weekend, 2 days.
Right.
So I was planning on the family going to the park and catching them all and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, just want town instead or whatever. But I would never have been wandering around Deepin for 3 hours straight without this game. So that's great. But then just sitting and playing a story or whatever, I'm like, I'd rather read a comic. I'd rather watch something, you know, I'd rather watch a film or a TV show. So I don't use it for story driven content, which I guess over time will change.
Yeah, I imagine so. I don't know if we've got it, Sheepdog. Anyway, I don't know if we've got it because I can't remember how we got back to it.
I think it was that Pokemon game that the QB one, Quest, whatever it's called.
Pokemon Quest, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
I could have segued and I didn't, and I've left too much of a gap. But watching story stuff is what I said, something along those lines. Those words in a different order. Where I was stuck on an airplane for 9 hours with naught to do. On the way home, I listened to Sounds of the 80s, which was very weird, and tried to skip to the 90s, but that was even weirder. So on the way there, actually, I'll carry on. My slight reasoning for that one was, on the way there, we had like 50, 60 different films and TV shows to watch on Norwegian Airlines. On the way back, they had a freemium option where you had a choice of 6 films and 6 episodes. And it was 1 episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 1 episode of Two Broke Girls, 1 episode of SpongeBob. And then they had Avatar, inexplicably. So I got my daughter to watch that. I don't even know if she finished it, but I thought, oh, you'll like that. Bosco watched something else, Paddington or something. I can't remember now. But I had seen literally everything they had, and then they had a premium option where you could pay 5 or 10 quid, and even that, there was nothing on there. And I thought, even if I wanted to spend the tenner on it, or the 5, whatever it was, there was nothing there I wanted to watch, even if I was desperate. So I just put Sounds of the 80s on, because I think I listened to every song I could find on their normal music settings that I knew. And then I ran out of music about an hour and a half in and thought, well, I don't want to listen to anything new. So I just thought, I'm going to know everything good from the 80s, at least by tune. They're not going to come out of any left field. What the hell is this nonsense? It's, you know, it was so long ago now that anything that's lasted to this point, I've got to have heard of, and I surely. And I was right. It was just some of them were proper random songs. So, anyway, I wrote that off and went to sleep. But on the way there, we had loads of choice, but I ended up watching The Shape of Water. I don't know if you've seen that.
Okay, yeah, I want to watch it, but I've not seen it yet.
Now, I was pleased. It was a good film. I'm pleased I watched it.
Yeah.
Because a colleague of mine said he went with it was like his new girlfriend. They went to the cinema because it was like the newest thing out. Or whatever. And like, he said that it was really, really, really boring, got slightly interesting at the end, and then he was just disappointed with it overall. And I was like, that sounds really crap for something that's meant to be, you know, it's Del Toro, isn't it? It's meant to be massive. Everyone's raving about it. So, so I watched it. I'm a little bit confused because being on a flight, it says at the beginning, this has been edited slightly to be suitable for watching on a flight.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that means she probably must get with this thing quite graphically in the film, but I don't know. It was like, it was edited and tweaked. So, you know, I was kind of like, I don't know whether the character explaining what had happened instead and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if in the full version is detailed, but beyond that, I don't think they edited any of the story. As far as I can tell, I mean, it seemed coherent. So I really enjoyed it. It's got that good kind of feel to it of being like old America, you know, massive bunker that they're all kind of doing research and secret stuff in. She's obviously the woman in it's just a cleaner who's kind of got no business being involved in. I've just seen a picture. I just brought it up because I wanted to remind myself of it. And I'm looking at this picture that's come up, and I'm thinking, I didn't see that picture in the film. It's nothing graphic. I'm not anything pornographic here. I just don't remember the scene, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe they cut the ending slightly. I'm tempted to rewatch this with my wife and see what she thinks of it, because they made some odd decisions. Like the main character who's in it the whole film is mute.
Right.
And
it's the Fishman.
And the Fishman, no, the main woman is mute, and the Fishman
really
doesn't speak. So that was a bold choice. It was interesting because it was just like, okay, you got 2 characters that don't talk. A bit of reading, which was hard on a 9-hour flight when I was falling asleep, but it was fine. And then just some awesome kind of old school characters, just like a weird husband who there's a lot of random bits where I couldn't tell whether it was just a quirky film with oddballness in it, or whether they'd just cut it and I didn't get the reference. Like they went to a place and ordered is it called key lime?
Yeah,
pie?
key lime pie.
Ordered that, ate a bit, I took it back to their house, sat on their sofa, unwrapped it, took a couple of bites of it, said it was the best pie they'd ever eaten, they'll save some for later. The woman kind of implied it was absolutely disgusting and the worst thing she'd ever eaten. He took the 2 plates, he opened his fridge, and there was like 50 key lime pies in there. And he put the dishes in with the other 50 key lime pies. And what? It's like, has he just got no memory or something? Has he got short-term memory, like, deficiencies? Has he forgotten he's done this? And it stayed in my head the entire film. I was like, what was the relevance of the pies? And I still don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get why, because it was such a random, I mean, that's the sort of thing he does, but maybe it's because I had an edited version of the film, or maybe I just missed it. But it was just really, it was like little things like that where I was just like, why has this in the film? Why has this happened? So, anyone who's seen it, let me know if I need to rewatch to understand the pies, or whether I missed any kind of weird fishman sex scene that, would be entertaining, because I just couldn't tell again with the editing, because I just thought it was, not that I particularly want to see it in any kind of way. It just thought it was funny that she went to bed and then it's like she had a mask on her face, took it off as if to say, actually, I don't want to sleep. And then it just cut to her at work the next day having a cigarette, and her colleague's like, what? Like, how does that even work?
Right,
and she explains how, and it's like, hang on a minute, so what? Like, as if she's just done that and then gone to work and told everyone. And I'm like, I don't understand. You must have cut like 20 minutes of film out here to justify this weird conversation happening so naturally. There's a couple of bits like that where I was like, everyone's taking this stride far too easily. But a very entertaining film otherwise. I'm glad I watched it.
Good, because I do want to watch this. It's like I say, it intrigues me.
There's another film that I want to watch. I haven't seen, but I want to watch later this month. If everything goes to plan, I want to go and see it on my birthday with the children, because my work give me the day off work on your birthday. And
nice.
The kids are off, obviously, except my baby, who's at nursery. So it's just me and the kids. I thought, right, take them to the cinema. I want to see the Teen Titans Go film.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to be at the cinema then, which is gutting. And if it's not,
how far away is it?
And my birthday's the 21st, so
of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Cool. Okay. Because
is it in cinemas now?
Yeah. And I
feel like it only came in last week, maybe.
I hope so. I asked Showcase, and they said they had no way of knowing whether it'd still be on.
It's not ideal, is it?
26th of July. Oh, in Lebanon it came out. Why would it give me Lebanon? Why would I?
You sentenced to Lebanon.
I put Teen Titans Go to the movie's release date, and it's August 3rd. It came out here. Okay,
so last week.
Bound to be there, isn't it?
3 weeks, yeah. I'd say got 3.
So two things about this. So first things, I thought, right, I need to set the seed now that my kids want to see this film. So on the flight, I said to my kids, oh, do they have Teen Titans Go on there? Have a quick look. And it was. And Bosco was like, I'm up for this, bang. He starts watching it to the right of me. Lampup looks at me like, why would I want to watch this? And I sort of did this. It's true, but I don't really know why I went into this much detail with her. I basically explained to her and my wife. I said, this was on for a while and got cancelled. Yeah. And I said, and they were like, oh, why did it get cancelled? Well, apparently they made this to sell figurines to boys, and it was so popular with girls that it was very, very, very well watched. But girls don't buy toys for superheroes. So they sold no toys. So they cancelled it. But then because so many girls watched it, they demanded it be brought back. And everyone loves it, and it's happy, and now it's got a film, and it's a big deal. So Lampup was like, all right, I'll give it a go. And they both love it now.
Good.
And we landed in America, and when we got there, it was like daytime, and I said to him, look, we're all a bit tired, pop the telly on, Cartoon Network. Just happened to be having a Teen Titans Go week, where it was 8 hours a day, Teen Titans Go. And obviously we've seen none of the episodes, so that's not as hellish as it would sound for most parents. Like if it was a Phineas and Ferb 8 hours a day thing, I've seen them episodes a million times, it would kill me. But every time we had downtime in the house, they put the telly on, they watched Teen Titans Go. They think it's like funniest thing ever. And so I'd be watching out the corner of my eye, knowing I quite enjoyed the comedy of it, and I like the characters, and I know the characters from their adult counterparts or their older counterparts. But when I said to him, well, it's my birthday in 11 days, let's go to the cinema and watch it in the morning, it'll be fun. they're well up for it. I'm quite excited. I get to have like a kiddie birthday treat. But yeah, I would never have gone to the cinema on my own to see it. Do you know what I mean? If they'd have both gone, no, Dad.
Yeah.
But what I found slightly odd, though, is that the Cartoon Network folks, I think, if I understood what was happening, because I didn't see the beginning, the kids were watching it, I think they've already played the first 40 minutes of the film, or at least the first half an hour of the film, on the Cartoon Network.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
either. And I'm pretty sure they were advertising the show the whole time on the American Cartoon Network, which seems really bizarre if that's what they're doing, because it's a $10 million film, apparently. I'm just seeing out the corner of my eye. It seems like an odd decision to spend $10 million on a film, and then, you know, it's doubled its money in Lebanon, apparently. For some reason, Google is full in. And you'd think it'd be really odd to just undermine that by putting it on TV for free during the school holidays. But no, they were watching a film and then decided they wanted to go to a film, and then Slade got involved and was fighting them. And I thought, well, he's the character in the film. Is this part of the film? And then they talked about watching the film to see more. And I thought that's probably a good idea to show 20 minutes of it. But I'm sure it was longer than 20 minutes.
I mean, it's kind of good marketing, really, because it gets the kids to want to know what's going to happen, what's happening. And the only way they're going to find out.
Yeah, nag their parents.
Yeah.
But I felt like they showed a lot more of the film than they needed to, if that's what they were aiming for. It was good, though. I want to watch it, so it worked on me. I want to know what happens.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. It was a laugh, though. I'm excited about seeing that. I'm trying to think what else I've watched. Oh, did you talk about Orange is the New Black last week?
Anna did, I think. I've not watched it, and I think Anna did.
I imagine she's probably watched it all. I'm only about 3 or 4 in.
I think Anna's watched it all, yeah.
It's so dark compared to previous years.
I feel like Anna might have said that.
It's 2 things about this at the moment. It's way more dark than it was, which is bothering me because it's become more about how horrible prisons are for, like, obviously prisons are meant to be bad. What I mean is how brutal the guards are to the inmates, and it's highlighting big American problems and so on and so forth. And I'm like, you're hitting it on the nose a bit now. And it used to be that it was just a hilarious show that was also highlighting how bad that sort of thing. It's got a bit too deep on the issues and the brutalities, and it's like it's kind of gatewayed me into, oh yeah, this is really lighthearted, and then it's gone, look at the real problems. And I'm not American. You can't make me do anything. I'm in England, mate. Edit the non-American version so that it's just the jokes, please. Because I'm not going to vote for I'm not going to vote Democrat like you want me to, presumably. It's just odd. I don't know. It feels a bit like they're just trying to cause change, which is great, I guess. You know, you want them to be making the world a better place with their thing. But the other problem I think it has is a bit like, as a Buffy fan, obviously, this reference is better for me than it will be for many people. But season 6 of that, I think it was, they realised that everybody really, really liked Spike. So then he was literally the focus of the next 2 seasons of Buffy, and the next season or so of Angel, he was like literally the A team main man. Everything had to revolve around Spike, and that was fine because he was a good character. But it was like, okay, it's called Buffy and there's loads of characters in it. You don't have to shoehorn him into every scene. And that's what they seem to be doing with Suzanne in this, the crazy one. Right. She seems to have become everyone likes her. Just shoehorn her in everywhere. Let's just jam her into every scene, every which way. And there was a way too long than it needed to be start where she was hallucinating. And I was just like, okay, I get it. Stop it. You don't need to shoehorn her in everything. And as a bit of a segue, I've finished all the Netflix Brooklyn Nine-Nines, and they do that with Gina in that, the secretary.
Yeah.
She's just in everything, no matter what. And it's like, her character's funny, but it's not great when, like, the police officers are going on a stakeout to solve a crime, and inexplicably their captain's secretary decides to come along because they just wanted to have her in the show a bit more. It's like, it doesn't work. You can't just go, oh yeah. we're just going to write her into the scene for the sake of it. It's noticeable when they're forcing characters who are slightly popular into weird positions. You get what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And I feel like, they both have done that a lot in the most recent episodes I've watched, and it's starting to just bother me slightly that they didn't need to. They just didn't need to force them in that much. It's like how, I'm trying to think of other examples, like The Flash keeping Harrison Wells in it all the time. The bloke who plays him has played about 100 different characters, and it's like, either just give him a character that you're happy with or let him go and do another job. Don't just make him do a new character every season because you're confused about what to do. I don't really want him to leave, but I wish they'd just give him a consistent character now. Although it's become a thing, I suppose. It's interesting to see who the heck he's going to play next season, because a couple of his versions died and a couple of them have left for Earth 220 and whatever. So it's like, who's he going to play next year? But it's just odd. I find TV companies crazy for, it's like Walking Dead and Daryl. Daryl got popular. They want him in everything. It's just odd decisions, isn't it? And you feel like people probably assume they do want that, but it never actually helps the show, does it? Do you know? I've never seen it help the show. I've never seen it be like, that was a good choice, do that more.
Yeah, because people, like you say, people can tell. People can tell a lot of the time that it's not when it's happening, and it's not always a popular decision to do it.
Like people like a character a lot, so the answer should be, let's keep doing it the way we're doing it, not let's triple the amount. Let's just put them in every scene. It's like, people didn't like that. They liked it the way it was. I don't know. Just, it's probably me being overly pedantic, but little things like that just get me. What's frustrating me now is I can't find the next season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on any of the platforms I own or pay for, so I don't know when it's out next. People said it usually comes out on Netflix a month after it's finished airing, but it finished like 3 months ago in the US, so
I don't know then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Difficult.
But I suppose I won't need it because I've got to finish Orange is the New Black. Better Call Saul's just started coming back weekly. I've not watched that yet.
Oh, I've not watched that yet. I completely forgot.
Ozark's back in 21 days.
Is it on Netflix? No, it's on Amazon, isn't it?
What, Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix, sorry, yeah. It is.
I haven't watched any of Preacher this season.
Oh, I've watched episode 7 this week.
Is it not very good?
There's some good bits in it, but it's just like, it feels like they're spinning the wheels again. And I've come to the realization that the whole grandmother arc, and then there's the old father arc, and they've just splashed them all together, just sandwiched them together. And I've come to the realization that there were 2 separate arcs, 2 separate books, I think even, and they've just smashed them all together in this one, and it's just kind of just weird, because it's like, I don't know.
Linking that to my rant slightly, have they shoehorned Arseface into this season inexplicably, or are they just following his normal story?
He's been in it once.
Okay.
Because I think it was last week's episode. Is it the Saint of Killers, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Is that him? He's been sent by the devil to go and fetch Eugene and Hitler after last season when they escaped from hell. He's been sent to go and get them, and this episode he gets them. I don't quite know what, because there was no real.
That could sort of move into his story, because he becomes like a world famous rock singer, doesn't he, and all of that.
Yeah, but
maybe he'll sell his soul.
I don't see how he's getting out of this, because he's in chains, being walked back to hell by the Saint of Killers. I mean,
maybe that's it. Maybe he'll negotiate and then he'll go in. That was what his story was, just surreal in the comics, because it was like,
he became like a country singer.
Yeah, he was just like globally brilliant. And at certain points in that story, I only persevered through the more bits because I wanted to know what happened with him. And then other bits, I was like more into Saint of Killers or Jesse or Cassidy. But there were the odd bits where I was just like, I'm just gonna keep reading until Arseface comes back. So
it's been all right. I mean, the start of the episode is that, because last week he'd already got Eugene, and then he gets Hitler this time, and I was like, it reminded me a little bit of Better Call Saul because Hitler's working in a subway, and he's like the employee of the month, and he's called David Hilter. He's called Hilter. I didn't notice it at first. And because he just got a name tag, I thought it just said Hitler on it. I was like, he swapped the T and the L around, so it said Hilter. And then he's having a breakout back, and his work colleagues are at back, and and they're all complaining about the different jobs because they're all in the shopping mall, and they're all complaining what the jobs have got to do and what have you. And then Hitler just goes something like, "I'll blame the Jews." Oh God! And he starts going on to this big old, this big German rant like Hitler did, and he just starts spouting off in German, and then the artist gonna go, yeah. Just kind of confused. I found that was quite amusing. But the episode is like, I don't know. Well, I do know why, because probably they're trimming the fat in each arc, aren't they? Realistically. Because the Old Father arc is a big, massive arc, and the Grandmother one isn't as big an arc, but it's still an important one. And so there's the arc. There's two stories going on at all times. There's two, and it's just focus on one. You'd do better for focusing on one rather than trying to split your time between two all the time.
I'll never get my head around how some of these companies work. It's just, I don't know.
Like I say, to me, it's they're making it more mainstream. They are making it, like I said, trimming the fat on some of the stories where they can scrimp it down. They're probably also realising they ain't getting 7 seasons, or whatever it is, 7 books, or whatever it was that the actual graphic novel did.
I need to get a job where these people just run their ideas by me quickly, and I go, that ain't going to work. Should we cram Daryl into every scene of The Walking Dead? Nah, don't do that. Should we spend a season wandering around and looking for a little kid that no one cares about? Nah, it's a bad idea. At least they can say, well, what do you want to do instead? And I go, well, I'd pay someone to do that.
Just follow the book. Just follow the book.
Yeah, well, that would be my main go-to answer. I'd print that one out and I'd stick it on their wall in case they were ever, if they were ever having problems.
When in doubt, refer to the book.
Yeah, because it just begs, it's arrogance, I think. It's got to be arrogance. It's got to be some writer thinking, I'm going to take what they've done and I'm going to make it better, because they should have the easiest job in the world. It should be the stupidly easiest money for old rope job in the world. Taking a great story that someone's taken all their time and effort of, it's probably, I don't know what the run of Preacher was like, 10 years, let's say.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
And there's 10 years hard work plus all the extra bits around it. I mean, it might not have taken 10 years to release them, but I bet it was 10 years of his life writing it, plus however long he spent daydreaming about it on Subway and whatever.
Yeah.
And they seem to think they can just churn it out in the gaps between season 1 and season 2. Surely you just laid that comic out in an office and just went, season 1 will be these books, season 2 will be these books, season 3 will be these books, season 4 will be these books. We'll get it to 5 so we can syndicate it.
Well, yeah, maybe.
And when they started before the books, I thought that's obviously what hooks us in with a bit of interest. It stretches it to 5 seasons so they can hit 100. Or I don't know if it has to be 100 anymore, because
usually
it's not 24 episode seasons, though, is it?
Good point.
They always aim for 5 seasons anyway. I just assumed that's what they were doing, and then they've just gone off. I mean, at what point did you think it was okay to just take this? Go, yeah, we're gonna improve. I get it. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I got you. Just got out for a second.
I stopped talking. I took a sip of my whiskey.
So, I mean, they're on. This was episode 7 this week. Yeah. So I felt like they're starting to spin the wheels back up and get it into gear now, because I think it's 10 episodes this season.
But that means that they haven't spun the wheels in 20 episodes, because season 2 was just they pulled over the car and got out. Essentially, it was like, so they're spinning the wheels up after a season and 3.
Oh, what are you on about?
Season 2 didn't move that far. They're in New Orleans looking for God for like 10
but
episodes.
I mean, as in they've got to finish this arc in this season, sure.
Oh no, yeah, but what I mean is the arc probably didn't need 7 episodes to finish, did it? If I haven't seen it, so I'm just saying, judging by the way season 2 ran, it feels like they've just dragged everything. So
I feel like 5, 6, and 7 has been kind of like filling world building sort of episodes, not really getting anywhere with it. But I feel like if there's 3 episodes left, they've got to start moving. They've got to start moving because there's a whole Allfather season, Allfather arc, where Cassidy is captured, isn't he? And he's being tortured by the Grail. And
I just want him to get to that one where the guy who didn't space program talks to Jesse for a whole episode, and then you see his big message in the desert. When they said they were doing this show, I thought that'd be a great, like the episode where in Breaking Bad he's trying to catch the fly, and that's literally all he did for an episode. I just wanted that. I wanted an episode of him just chatting to this guy, talking about his life, and then right at the end, just show what it was he was working on, what his life's work was, and it just be entertaining, and then crack on. I thought that'd be good, but it doesn't. I don't think they're capable of writing an episode like that.
Anyway, enough of that. A movie I've watched this week has been Antman and the Wasp.
Oh, I have not seen that. Is it
finally come out? Yeah, it's on par with the first one, I would say.
Come out where? What, on Blu-ray?
No, in the cinemas.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Came out last week in the cinemas.
I thought it had been out. Oh, bloody hell.
It came out in America a month ago.
Oh, America's doing my head in. And probably, to be honest, because I'm learning that my laptop bumhead probably came out in Lebanon a month ago as well.
Maybe.
But Indonesia is telling me for this film. 4th of July, Indonesia.
Yeah, like I say, it's been out a month longer than in most countries. And main reason for this is because on the same time it came out in America, Incredibles 2 came out over here. And they don't want to cannibalise the films.
I thought Incredibles 2 wasn't out here yet.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 came out a month ago.
Probably not in Indonesia, Pab.
No, Incredibles 2 came out 6 months ago in the US. So it's bonkers. So it came out over here, Incredibles, and they went, whoa, don't put that Marvel film next to the Disney one. They'll cannibalise the ratings, or whatever it is, you know what I mean, the ticket sales. So just push it back a month. Yeah, they don't matter about spoilers, sod them. I think we had to wait a month extra to not get spoiled on it. But yeah, it's a very good film. I'd say it's up there with the first Ant-Man for me.
I'm amazed at that because I thought me and my wife had missed the boat on that, so I'm actually quite pleased.
No, like I say, it came out last week.
We get to miss the boat this week, but
cool. It's a good film. So it starts off with oh god, it's Scott, isn't it? This is it. Paul Rudd's name. Paul Rudd's name. Scott.
I was like, what?
I thought someone called
Scott had just entered the room.
He's on house arrest due to his actions in Captain America: Civil War. So he's on house arrest, and it starts off with him basically just trapped in his house. He can't go anywhere. He's on house arrest, and he's got like 3 days left. 3 days left before he gets out of it. And at that stage, he has like a vision. I think he's asleep dozing in the bath, and he has like a vision of Hank Pym's wife who's in the quantum realm. If you remember from the last film, his wife gets trapped in the quantum realm and he can't get her back. So he has a vision of her.
Because she's got the wasp suit, hasn't she? Before?
Yes. Yeah. So and they haven't had contact since the last film, basically. And they're wanted due to association with Scott, due to with all this Captain America Civil War stuff. So they're kind of like wanted by the FBI as well. So, and the whole film like goes on to like getting Hank's wife back from the quantum realm because Scott's had a vision of her, and so they're like trying to track it down through his head and build this machine that's going to send him to the quantum realm. But there's also this ghost character who is the antagonist. I didn't really think she was that she was up to much really as a antagonist, but she's in there trying to like scupper things because she wants the machine for herself because she's like some sort of like she's affected by just some sort of radiation stuff from the quantum realm, and it makes her basically kind of she can pass through anything. She's kind of like a ghost, but it's incredibly painful and she wants this energy from the quantum realm that'll kind of fix her. And then that's the basic premise of the film. There's all sorts of capers going on, and
I think you can predict that he's small, everything's big.
Yeah, it's a much like smaller story compared to your Avengers and what have you. It's a much more condensed story, sort of in that sort of like Ant-Man world sort of thing. And is it Michael Pena? Michael Pena's in it again. And he's good. He's very good again. And I'd say it's up there for, like I say, it's a very good film still.
Awesome.
It has a fun sort of like attitude to it. It's not like as serious as some of the other films. It's more.
Well, I'm gonna need that after the last.
It's not as like funny, like silly, wacky as Thor Ragnarok. And I don't think it's as like fantastical as Guardians of the Galaxy, but humour-wise, it's probably up there with both of them.
I'll tell you what, if our local showcase wasn't so damn expensive, go and see this straight after seeing Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
kids, but it's like $4,000 a ticket or something ridiculous.
I mean, I went to the View up at the retail park to go watch this. I've not been there in years to that one. I went in there and I was like, "What the?" I was wondering why. I'm thinking, "Am I in?" I booked it online the night before, and I'm like, "Why are there so many few seats on this for opening day?" I think it's bonkers to be in this little tiny room. And I go in, and they're all like these big, armchair like lazy boy things. I was like, "What is this?" You got buttons like recliners and stuff, and there's like 2 seats worth of space in front of you, like a little swinging table in front of you that comes out, and you can put food on and what have you. I'm like, this is bonkers. Because I'm not used to this at all.
I was wondering if Bounce's cinema would show any of these, but they've got Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Their Q&A is brilliant on Google. What's on this week? Go on the website and check. Wondering who's answering the questions. I realised why I thought Ant-Man had been out ages and I'd missed the boat. This time it's telling me that it came out on June 25th at the El Capitan Theatre, which apparently is a theatre in Hollywood. So I'm guessing that's when it premiered. But when I type in Ant-Man release date and it tells me that date, I just assumed that there was no chance of me seeing it. I don't know. I don't know what I need to do to make it not bring up those weird options. Because if I type cinema, it brings up my local cinema, so my locations work. Although I did it a minute ago to check that before I made that. Now it's bringing up cinemas in King's Lynn and Skegness. So I don't know. Something's going on. Google hates me.
Okay, so
we've got a comics, or you got more?
Yeah, sure. I'm done now. I'm done.
I mean, I'm not going to go into like I read the stuff I always read because I have, and I've just caught up on all of them. You know, Giant Days has been really, really cool. But I was massively behind. I was like 20 or more comics behind on The Flash, and realised that whilst Superman's just had his 1000th Action comic, Flash just did his 700th. And I didn't know that milestone was coming up at all. They kept that really quiet. And that's been a really good story. Really good story. Like, it's not just, oh, this villain is fast and I need to run fast to catch him. It's, you know, it's like the Flash has been properly stitched up and stuff like that. And, you know, Wally West has like returned and he's dealing with all the fact that half the people, pretty much everyone doesn't remember who he is from Rebirth. And the odd person is remembering who he is, but remembering who he is ruining their lives because, like, he reminded someone that he existed, but he didn't know while he was gone, the grief of losing him sent them evil and turned him into a villain, and had actually destroyed a load of lives. And, you know, him being gone and the reason why he was gone had actually done them a bit of a favour because they wiped they'd lost the memories of him, and they'd just become a normal woman who was going about her business. She was a teacher in a high school and a lovely person. And when he turns up and says, "Oh, it was me, Wally West, remember me?" She's just like, "No, I don't know who you are." Starts prompting her, and then he starts reminding her of stuff, and then suddenly her hair turns purple. She suddenly goes mental and starts going nuts, and he has to sort of contain it. And I just felt like that was quite a cool, you know what I mean? A cool story, because he's down in the dumps trying to think what the hell's going on. I was the Flash for like 20 years in comics or whatever it was. He was the Flash for while Barry Allen was dead. And absolutely no one remembers him other than, like, it's, as I say, as it's progressed, people are. But no, it's so good. I recommend it because I feel like those who read comics are probably way more this than I am, but it's like you just never really hear as much about these stories and these characters as you do the big ones, the Trinity, you know. I've been enjoying it. It's been clever. It's given me a thought of what I want to see, and I looked and it doesn't seem to exist.
Okay.
I want to see a story or a series where they swap villains. I was thinking about the Rogues, and I was thinking Flash keeps the Rogues quite under control, really. Like, they do break out quite often, but I was like, maybe if he switched to, I don't know, Green Arrow's villains, it'd probably solve a lot of their threats quite quickly. Whereas, like, Superman could probably have the Rogues and everyone in Gotham just in jail instantly, and he could just keep them there. Do you know what I mean? Like, Batman could retire if Superman just turned up and helped him once in a while. And I know it would kind of kill their comic series, but it would be interesting if they just did it. If they just had even if they had to call it Earth 47 or something and just have it as a story just to keep it truly separate. But I just want to see it. I just want to see what would happen if Superman moved to Gotham and Batman, I don't know, moved somewhere. I don't know who he'd really come for him so much. Some of the heroes could quite easily solve. I mean, Wonder Woman in Gotham would be quite cool, because you could imagine. I was wondering. I was trying to find again whether she's ever put the lasso around the Joker's neck and just asked him where the heck he's from, because I know he doesn't particularly know, but he'd have to tell the answers to what he thought, and that would be a great premise. If she was tidying it up, and some of them were psychos like that, and she just got the lasso on him and said, "Tell me the truth." Because that was an interesting one. That. So I don't think other than that bit, I don't think see. But I was looking for anything that might satisfy that interest. I have found they've got an upcoming story about Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman creating a sanctuary for heroes and villains who want to basically get over traumas. It's called Hero, and it's like they create this anonymous asylum type thing where heroes go. They wear I thought it was what's his name, Psycho Pirate.
I really couldn't tell you on that one.
Yeah, whatever his name is, it looks like his mask. But basically, heroes and villains go to this sanctuary, and they will basically live in this, like, it's technology that emulates, it's like a holodeck. So they'll go and they'll stay in this holodeck, and they'll live out whatever the trauma is, and they'll overcome it, and it will cure them, and it'll all go well. And it's about Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman trying to kind of change people for the better and help people overcome major grief. But then major grief happens at the sanctuary, and there's a bit of a whodunit murder story associated to it, and it just sounds really good. It's coming out in September. It's a big event, Heroes in Crisis.
Right. Okay.
And it just reads like it'll be so good. I don't know who it is they're killing off or anything like that, but it's like superheroes and it keeps saying and villains, but I don't know who they mean. Whether they mean like Harley Quinn, because it's always Harley Quinn and
yeah.
But overcoming post-traumatic stress disorder and things like that, just handling that sort of thing. It's like a secret hero hospital sort of thing. But it looks really cool artwork wise. It looks really dark and sad, and I'm just interested. I think I'm like, it just looks really cool. Most of the feedback about it has been excitement. There's been the odd snark, which I swear, reading around online, it's tinfoil hatty, but I swear someone must be paying people to just comment on their stuff negatively, because half the time it doesn't make any sense what people are saying. I get it. People obviously are entitled to their opinion that stuff's rubbish, but I saw the Doctor Who advert for the new season.
Oh yeah.
And it just, I was trying to explain this to my wife, and I don't think she really realised what I was kind of, I wasn't saying a few people disagree with the advert. I was saying when you go down it, it seemed like 20 Russian bots had just basically latched onto it. There was loads of people with 1 week old accounts, no followers, loads of Donald Trump tweets and stuff like that, had just latched onto this Doctor Who advert and said, "Oh, I don't like it. Doctor Who should be a man." And I was like, what the hell do Russia care? Like, I'm saying Russian bot because that's the normal thing they call them. But this was happening with DC as well. And I've got in this habit. It's like a game I play on Twitter and Reddit now, where if someone says something that I'm just like, I can't even begin to figure out why that's your opinion, before I respond or give it any more attention, I click on their profile and see how old it is. And the amount of times on Reddit, for example, I've replied, "You're an 18-hour bot with a karma of -500 who only posts in Make America Great Again threads and in threads about things that are a little bit left. Like, I don't think you're a legitimate account." And then they never respond, and they never tweet again. They never post. And it's been really fun and really like lame, but fun. Because I replied to somebody on the Doctor Who one saying, you're having, because this person responded and then it responded and he responded. And I said, so, you've been arguing with a bot. Look at their account. and the person like messaged me in private going, that is insane. Like, I don't understand. I say bot, I mean like sock puppet, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because there's someone there responding, an AI couldn't do that. But I don't get it. I don't understand. Unless kids are just setting them up, it just seems really, really bizarre. Is it just someone's sat there, right, I'm going to start an egg account and I'm going to search for whatever's trending and then I'm just going to snark on it? Is that someone's sport?
It's just to like, well, it might be, like I say, people just doing...
I know South Park parodied that. They had Kyle's dad would literally get a bottle of wine out and he'd just sit there, load up Facebook and just start harassing people. I get that is the parody, but this was the DC thing, the DC Heroes in Crisis. They were on there. They were on the Doctor Who promo, and there were bits in it that I got. There were people. She went, "Will you be my new best friends?" And it was like, oh, that's really cringy. Like, you're a grown woman. I don't care if you're Doctor Who. I don't care if you're anyone. You're a grown woman. You don't say weird stuff. No one talks like that. It was a bit of a weird way to kick the advert off, but the rest of it looked really good. And I just thought, okay, people don't like, Kev wouldn't like it. If Kev went, oh, that looks like
it's not up Kev's street, is it at all? Is it?
No, but Kev's response wouldn't be weird. This was just like instantly political from egg accounts. And I just thought, what is this? This is insane. It happened. Yeah, Doctor Who happened on DC. It happened when DC were talking about films. And I've started to just look. I'm looking at different things that it doesn't happen on the Marvel ones. And and I feel like maybe that's because Disney have been really hot on just annihilating them. Like that, maybe they just go out of their way to block them all.
Maybe it's just police better, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not implying that they're related to it in any way. It just feels like, I don't know. At first I thought it was just some Marvel fanboy going nuts because of just the way they were talking was ridiculous. And then when I looked and it was just this weird puppet, I was just like, the internet's crazy. The internet is insane. When I click on some and they've got like 50,000 tweets and they've been on an account for 10 years, I just think, okay, you're a bit of a muppet. There was one guy where I was like, you type like a bot. And he was like, well, I don't feel like a bot. And I went, no, I can see from your account, you're just an unhinged American who's a bit mental. And he was like, that started a bit of a weird sort of back and forth. But, the internet's weird at the moment. Very weird and very
Well.
odd. Like, you know what I mean? We all thought it was just politics and maybe tinfoil hat time. But if people listening do it, click around on the accounts, you'll see some really weird stuff. I don't know where I got onto this from comics, but DC Heroes in Crisis, this really cool looking comic series, had a lot of action against it, which made me wonder what the hell, whether it's got some sort of mean messages in it that people weren't happy with, perhaps. I don't know. But have you read anything good?
No, Sheepdog.
Have you read anything bad?
My usual quota is to try and read a trade a week. That's my usual thing that I try and do. And this week I tried to read a Rick and Morty trade.
Are they any good?
No.
Really? Damn. I was hoping you'd go, yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Is it written by the same people?
No.
All right, well, it's not going to be good, is it then? No.
It's not any good. I got it because the artist was at Comic-Con in Manchester the other week, and he was signing them, and he was doing drawings in them, and he drew me a Rick in there saying "Get Swifty" in the front and the inside cover. I was like, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I got it because I wanted to give him a chance. I've always seen these books, and I kind of thought, well, I'll give him a chance.
Yeah. I've always seen him,
but it's just like the part. I don't know. I don't know if it's just necessarily the book that I read because I've got the Pocket Like You Stole It trade, which is all based on Pocket Mortys.
Well, is it like I worried that it would be like somebody writing Rick, how somebody who's watched the show a lot would think Rick would be all the time. So it's just in your face, Rick. It's kind of, it's never gonna do it. I worry. Like the show changes things all the time. You know, it'll throw in a Pocket Rick or a, Pickle Rick or whatever, and it's just left field mental stuff and whatever. Whereas I feel like the comic is just gonna either have like, oh look, it's a comic with Pickle Rick in it again, or it's gonna be like Rick just acting like Rick because they can only really go so far on it. They can only tread the ground that's already been tread, or do what they think Rick would do. Because is that, am I right? Do you think
I read 2 issues of it, and I just had to stop. I was like, I just don't. You know, like it's really weird to watch a film and then read the novelization of the film.
Yeah,
you get the concept of that. It feels like that. It feels like I'm trying to read it, and I'm reading it, hearing the voices in my head of who they are, so to speak. And they do all the mannerisms and the burping and stuff in it, and I can't. This should be watched. It shouldn't be read to me.
Well, I find the Simpsons ones like that. I've tried reading Simpsons comics, and they just don't feel right.
Yeah, I think you will have the same feeling with this. I'm sure they're probably quite good. I don't know if it's just the mood I've been in this week and just not feeling it, or if it is just the fact.
You're confirming what I imagined it'd be like. I mean, I still wondered. I don't know. I don't think I explained my question very well either, to be fair. But it's like, have you ever had it? I might have had this more because of the way I am on podcasts and that. But when you get someone come up to you, start talking to you, and they think you're like you are on whatever you do, they know you from. So they act like that, and you're like, you're acting really strange because they're expecting you to be like the perception of you that built up over. Because like we know people that listen to us every week and have done for 306 episodes, but we've probably met them twice, and I feel like that's what reading a Rick and Morty comic would be like. Is you've watched them on a TV show for 3 seasons, but you don't really know the characters like the writers do. So someone else trying to write that who's just a fan of it essentially is never going to really do what would do.
I don't know how much involvement the actual writers have, and this person could be an actual writer for all I know. But I'm not certain they are. But they could well be a writer on the show that has been tasked to write the comic books. I don't know, and I'm sure they are looked over by the writers.
I'm guessing they're not.
I imagine not. They feel like standalone books. But the one that I've got is all based around the Pocket Morty's game, and there's all these different Mortys and all these different Ricks, and the Ricks are trying to catch the Mortys. And I was just like,
my son's obsessed with that cartoon. He asked why I deleted it off my phone, and he was gutted. I was like, I completed it. There's nothing,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was just like, I don't quite get this. It felt very standalone. So it wasn't like as if it was building a world or a universe. It felt like it was a book that you could buy on its own and not have to know. You didn't have to know Rick and Morty stuff. There wasn't a book before it, or there's not going to be a book after it. I don't think. It feels like it's going to be a standalone-ish, like, trade. And I think they're all like that. I don't think there's any, like, big arcs running through the story, but I don't know. I just feel like it just should be watched and not read to me. That's what it felt like anyway. So it's a bit of a disappointment, really. But that's because I've been kind of put off reading all week just because I was trying to force myself to read this. That's
the reason I've not read my American Gods book, which I think I owned twice by mistake. But I've not read it because I worry that now I've watched it, it won't feel right reading it.
I've watched it and read it. Hang on. I've read the graphic novel. You read the actual book.
Yeah, I've got the big brick.
I mean, there'll be a lot more stuff in it. There'll be, full well, based on the Preacher, that even the comic book, there's a lot more stuff in the comic book. So in an actual book, there'll be even more stuff in it.
I hope so. I like it seems to have built. I haven't got around to it because it's hard to read Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Much as I love Sandman, it's hard to read, and I think now I've got a bit more energy. Now I'm back from a holiday. Maybe it'll be a good time to have a crack at it, but I just kept looking at it and thinking it's too big. I think it's the whole story though. So like, if I read it, I'm done. So
there you go. I think we're done.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's that.
Super.
I can have my third whiskey and fall asleep, and finally have for 9 hours instead of. I've got some sort of weird, I say insult, jet lag. Jet lag and the Flash being really good has kept me up till 1 o'clock in the morning every night this week, and I'm exhausted from it. But I think I will still read the Flash tonight, unless the whiskey can knock me out. But I've got to be up early for Pokemon Community.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah. I've forgotten how Kev does the outro. Did you know you can find UK podcast, or I'm at Arby's6K?
I'm at Pab 1986.
And we have a Facebook group called, was it a Mature Gamer Podcast, Games, Films, something and other, blah.
I don't know. I'm not on the Facebook, so I wouldn't know. But
oh, yeah, you're not. So, yeah, go on that, because I think we mention it a lot, and nothing really. It seems to get activity of people joining it, but it never actually seems to have anything happen on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned it on Twitter and then deleted the tweet, but it's worth us mentioning it in some part now that we applied to do a panel event type thing at EGX in September and got accepted. So on the Sunday we'll be doing it. I don't know what time yet. There will be tweets.
More info to come, but it looks like it's happening.
It's exciting. And Anna's already said she won't do it, but we're making Pab do it, and I think we're trying to coerce Bouncy out of retirement to join us. So if you're going to EGX, make sure you keep the whole day free on the Sunday until we tell you what time. If we're pondering going to EGX, damn well go. We need the crowds. And if you thought EGX was nonsense and you weren't going to go, well, now you've got a damn good reason to go. So go. But yeah, it'd be awesome to have a crowd there.
Yeah,
and
definitely
dominate. So I'm sure Kev will give proper info next week once we've forced him to write a show and figure it out, because yeah, lots of work to do. And I realised that it's only a bit away.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's like 6 weeks.
Not that long at all. I mean, they're giving us 6 weeks notice to come up with something that I forgot I'd even applied for it. And Kev had definitely forgot that he'd applied for it. And just to let people behind the curtain, we're so bad at organisation that we both forgot that we'd applied for it, and we ended up with 2 slots. So rather than do 2 shows, Kev's going to do one for his stuff, and we're going to do one for together. So
yes,
keep both days free. Don't play any games. Just go to Eurogamer and watch all of our stuff.
Indeed.
So I think that's it.
Speaking of watching your stuff, you go to your YouTube channel where you all this holiday talk. There is full on commentary of your holiday from over there.
I know that we're wrapping up, but one of my favourite experiences of that holiday, and just I felt so lucky that I was filming as this happened, was sitting on the Winnie the Pooh ride in the rain after the rain, and we're going along and they're singing along about Heffalumps and Woozles, and honest to God, like I was not acting in this video. I'm watching the scenes going through, and Winnie the Pooh's got his honey. I'm not really sure what's happening. Tigger jumps on him. Didn't really know why. Suddenly Pooh's laying bent in half against his wall. Suddenly he leaves his own body. We turn a corner, and it's this weird psychedelic black room with Heffalumps and Woozles singing in luminous colours, and it's all going a bit mental, and there's fire, and it's all a bit crazy. And all I'm thinking is, Winnie the Pooh just died. Why did did Tigger just kill Winnie the Pooh? What? And then the ride broke down. And I'm just sat there thinking, what the hell's just happened? And then Bosco shouts, "There's a fire!" And I looked over my shoulder thinking, what the hell? And it was a plastic fire as part of the set. But then not really thinking about who I was sat with and where I was, I turned to my wife and said, "Did Winnie the Pooh just die?" My kids looked at me like, "Oh my God, what are you asking?" And I had to backtrack massively. But we had to get off the ride and walk through the rest of it to get out.
Oh, really?
The bloke had to basically just walk with us and stop us at every corner and check it was safe. I don't know what happened, but
cause I like that his response to you, what he said to you. He said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "There's honey on the tracks or something," didn't he? Or something like that. And you're like, "Yeah, just all right, mate." All right.
He basically said, "There's honey on the tracks," and then did that like little brief period of silence, and then basically went, "Please stop filming, sir," and just basically become real stern.
Wow.
Do I stop filming, or do I go, okay, pretend to turn it off and then film the heck out of it? And all I kept thinking was Kev would film the heck out of it. Kev would have just been like, "It's off, it's definitely off," and he would have just filmed everything, and he would have been like waiting for something more to happen. But actually, all that happened was we walked through the ride. It would have been cool to film because they were like, "Yeah, you can." Part of the reason I think he told me to turn it off was he literally then went, "Don't," like, because Bosco went to touch something, and I was like, "Don't touch that." And he was like, "You can touch anything you want, to be honest. Just, don't break it, obviously." But so then I told him not to touch Pooh's honey because I was like, you don't want to put your hand in his food. But he was like, "If you want to, look, there's Rabbit, just poke him in the eye, whatever." He just didn't care. He was like, whatever, walk through, made sure we were safe. But I wondered what was going to happen. I thought we were going to go around a corner, dead body. Not Winnie the Pooh's dead body, just like a person decapitated. The way they were, "Please don't film," I thought something major had happened. But it was really fun, it all breaking down, because that... If I was a big YouTuber, you'd have thought that was staged. Do you know what I mean? If I was like someone famous who's got on a ride at Disney and it broke down, and the way it had, it'd have been like, well, this is completely and utterly staged.
Well,
but it was just good timing. It was fun.
I mean, they usually do that because they don't want to break the illusion, and they don't want you to be filming the ride with all the lights on, and so you see all the animatronics and all the tracks and all the.
It was great.
They don't want you to see.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
That's why they don't want you to film.
The haunted house broke as well while we were in the pitch black, and we'd lied to Bosco to get him on it. We told him it was not the haunted house, and as we walked through the door and the door shut,
brilliant.
They went, "Welcome to the haunted house," and he looked at me, and I was like, "It's going to be fine. You're going to sit with me. It's going to be great."
Great, the haunted mansion.
It is good, but then it broke down. And
at what point did it break down then?
It was
were you on the ride yet?
Yeah. It was absolutely pitch black, and there was all these ghosts about, and then everything just stopped. And I did a little video, and I was like, it was black screen, and I'm like, we're on the haunted house ride. It's just broken down. I think we're cursed. And I'm like, I'm sat with Bosco. We kind of tricked to get on here. Are you all right, Bosco? And he's like, yes. And he was so scared. Bless him. He's holding me so tight. But when we got off, he did say it was fun. But yeah, I wish the lights had come on in that one.
I mean, that one's all smoke and mirrors. That one, very clever. How that's done is very cleverly done.
Yeah.
With the big, is that the one with the big like dining, the big dance hall, and they're all dancing round, and you like above them?
Yes, yeah,
right?
Straight,
yeah.
So it broke down just before we got to that.
Right. Good, because that's really clever. That's how they've done that is really clever.
Yeah, no, I loved that ride. The whole thing was brilliant. I want to go back. I need to.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah,
it's
been 10 years since I've been back. I've been there, and I still want to go back.
I'll do an MGP tour over there. Maybe the EGX live show will be so successful. We'll be signed up to some major label, and we'll go to Disneyland with the proceeds. But we need the listeners to all turn up in their droves and pack out the hall and start chanting, "Give them a contract, give them a contract," and like 10 grand for Sheepdog, 10 grand for Sheepdog. That's what I want to hear. You can raise the money higher if you want. I don't mind, but
I'll do 5.
Just chant. But no, I'm hoping it'll be good. EGX, it should be a laugh.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd cut out then. I was like,
we both went quiet, and I thought, do I just cut and say, right, that's that, or is that a good enough?
No. Say goodbye, Sheepdog.
Goodbye, Sheepdog.
Thank you very much for listening, folks. We'll see you next week.
Good week. Bye.